All right, what is up, y'all? So, I'm happy to bring you another version of a meal plan, okay? And this is based on a bunch of feedback and just trying to simplify things and incorporate what it is that we feel like is important. I know that some people do really well with a lot of specifics, and some people want the flexibility of not being so specific. So, this is what I feel like is a really good blend of both. Now, I do want feedback. I welcome feedback, I encourage it because I'm not doing this for myself. I don't need this personally, but I want to do this to help all of us down our path if it's something that we benefit from. So your feedback is crucial. You are not hurting my feelings at all if you tell me that you need something different or would like to see something different on there or need more detail or more days or something like that. But I feel like this is a really good blend of everything. And based on your feedback, we'll make some changes to it. So if we look at the first page, what I envision is instead of having specific dates for these meal plans, we're going to have meal plan numbers, and then that way you can go into the meal plan topic and you can pull whatever meal plan looks like it feels right for you. Okay. Now I will say that we have this image that I posted recently on how much red meat should you consume. If I had to estimate or guesstimate the percentages of where our different meats are coming from, I think red meat needs to be the majority of what we consume because it is so healthful. And then the other things are a little bit more ancillary. And so the reason I say that is that every week there's going to be a red meat meal and then there's going to be a something else meal. You know, one week we may focus on seafood, one week we may focus on pork, one week we may focus on poultry. Okay, so that's our rationale behind that. So at the top you'll see meal plan number 1, beef and pork. Okay, and we'll have plenty of beef and porks and plenty of beef and poultry and things like that. But and so what I'm going to recommend here is, most of us are trying to move towards 2 meals per day. But if we need a breakfast meal or a third meal, we have an optional breakfast here, and we'll almost always have a shake option, and then we'll have a recommended real food meal option. Now, I do think the real food meal option is going to be ideal, but as a transitional step, and if it's more convenient, then of course you can always do the shake, okay? We're also going to recommend a lunch that you do every day. All right, that lunch isn't going to change to keep things super simple. And then we have our leftovers method. So we have a Monday, Tuesday recommended meal. Now your week may be slightly different, so this could be a Tuesday, Wednesday for you. But in general, I think most of us start our work weeks on a Monday. So we have a Monday, Tuesday meal, and this is going to have an animal food. It's going to have some plants. It's going to have a starch, and it's going to have a dessert. Okay, and this is, of course, your evening meal. And ideally, you're making enough for at least 2 days worth for all the people involved. And that way you have enough for 2 days, and maybe you even have some extra that you can keep for a leftover smorgasbord at the end of the week, or you can freeze a little bit of it. The next meal you'll see here is another 2-day meal. And here in this example, we've got some pork chops and Brussels sprouts and double cooked white rice. Now, all these things that may not sound familiar to you, like the double cooked white rice, if we reference something like that in the post associated with it, we'll have the recipe. Maybe we'll put the recipe in this meal plan. That might not be a bad idea. And you can also always search for it as a recipe inside the group, okay? Fridays, we instead of having a third meal plan, which would be 3 meals in the week taking up 6 days, and you only have 1 day of flexibility, what I usually recommend is that you have Friday as a leftover smorgasbord. Friday is a day that you have everything from the week compiled, and if you're fine with leftovers, which we are, we love on Fridays, we just kind of pull everything out of the fridge that we got left over, and we're going to use that as our evening meal. Or worst case scenario, you can do that as a night of ordering out and get like an approved pizza from Blaze Pizza or something like that. Saturday and Sunday, we think should be flexible. Flexible means you do what feels really good to you, maybe one of your favorite staples. I'm not encouraging you to go off plan. I am just saying that give yourself some flexibility there. A lot of times on Saturday and or Sunday, we like to do breakfast for lunch. We'll do our little approved pancakes and some eggs, and we'll kind of have some mimosas or something like that, okay? So Saturday and Sundays are flexible. Saturdays and Sundays also would be a great time to incorporate some organs. And so I have here organ challenge. I think I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to recommend an organ dish, okay? So here we've got beef and liver meatloaf, which I just shot a video for. It's really, really great, okay? The shopping list is going to have the ingredients of the different meals recommended here, and let me know if that's useful or not, okay? Then on the next page, we have some meal prep tips. Animal foods need to be the focus. For protein, I recommend hitting a certain protein amount so that you feel satiated, and we got some general guidelines there. Carbs, as always, we recommend being from real food sources in smaller amounts, and we have some guidelines there. Use as much fat as you need to cook your meals. And then same breakfast most days, same lunch most days. Feel free to skip breakfast and or lunch. I wouldn't do both. So I think most of us are going to feel better with 2 meals a day, and I have an image and a graphic down below that shows you the different options for 2 meals a day. Dinner is where we want to get creative. That's why we offer a couple of recipes. We use the leftovers method, and most of us, it's easier for us to do a Monday through Friday of being strict, with Saturday and Sunday being a little bit more flexible. Now, we have this come up a lot about people like hearing that they need to do 2 meals a day and hearing that they need to be low carb, and so they try to jump into it too fast. So we have a progression here as a reminder, just saying, hey, starting out in your journey, if you're trying to eat real food, 3 meals a day is great because it gives you some punctuated blood sugar. I'd say have carbs at each one of those meals, some real food carbs. And once you get used to that and you've adapted to it and you feel good, then you can pull carbs away from the meal that you plan to eventually take out completely. Okay, so for most of us, it would be breakfast. But we would transition from that to 3 meals a day, no snacking, and carbs at only 2 meals of those 3. And that would be a really good test. And once you get used to not having carbs at one of those meals, then you can experiment with going to 2 meals per day, pulling out the meal that you took the carbs away from. All right. And then eventually you could experiment with 2 meals a day and punctuated carbs, meaning carbs at 1 meal, right? But that would be the progression, and you don't have to jump into that and go hard or fast, because as long as we have this backdrop of eating real food most of the time, we're going to feel good no matter what, okay? So there's no need to rush into the 2 meals per day and carbs punctuated. I would say just starting out with the 3 meals per day is perfect, okay? And then at the bottom, we have other reminders. Get up early, go for a walk, have your personal quiet time, take frequent breaks throughout the day, stay active all day, get your brightness for your sleep, eat real food, get bone stock and collagen in most days, if not every day, 2 hours before bedtime, have a reminder reminding you to make it dim, dark, and cool, and then make sure you get to bed early. Okay, now we may include specific recipes in this PDF, but this will definitely be in a post in the group. And please send me your feedback, because we just want this to be useful. I'm living a life of service. Nothing makes me happier than someone saying, "Oh, this is great and it works really well," but almost just as good as that, someone saying, "Hey, this is good, but I could really use this," I'm confused about this, or I'm less. Because if you are, then someone else is, right? So thank you so much, y'all. Keep it real.